Just to open raylibs, go to download now, and no thanks, just take me to downloads and download it. Downloading begins. On Raylib's official website, in examples section, you can see what exactly we can achieve through Raylibs. We can achieve 2D, 3D, 2.5D, we can achieve AR, we can achieve sound, we can achieve high quality graphics. For example, I can show you this one. For example, sprite explosion for 2D. We can achieve a lot of things. To set up VS Code, go to the official website and just download it. And it starts downloading. So what basically is a game? Game is basically just a loop inside of a code where we continuously check and validate users' input and make decisions based on that. For example, user presses W key, user presses arrow keys, user presses mouse right click. What happens is what we decide. So let's see what is a game's basic code skeleton or structure. So a basic code structure, first delete this code from the file. Let's begin. First of all, at the top, we need to add a include, which is raylib.h. Then we have int main as a normal C++ program. Here is the game loop. While the condition, for example, we can say for now true, do this. In the int main, before while starts, we need to initialize the window. Initialize window, the width and height. For example, 1280 is going to the width, 720 is the height, and the name of the window. For example, the first game. Okay, and while the condition is true, what you do is begin drawing and end drawing. After everything is done, after the while loop, we close the window and return 0 to clear cache and stuff like that. So what happens, the game is running in between these two things, begin drawing and end drawing. For example, we want to draw something, we will be drawing everything within this. In the next step, we are going to see how to draw a ball, how to draw a text and stuff like that. To draw a text, we just need to write draw text, and the text itself, maybe my first game, X position, the Y position, the font size, and we need to write the color, for example, white. We can write the X position, Y position, and the font size here, or we can declare it before the while loop. For example, int X position is equal to 500, just a random value. Int Y position is equal to 300, again a random value. We can also declare the font size here, which is equal to, for example, 50. And let's begin. Go to press F5 for play the start button to debug the code. Here, this is the result. Close it. Let's now draw a circle. How we will do that? Just go here, draw circle, the simple one. Okay, so first of all, we need to specify the center of the circle, the x position of the circle, the center y position of the circle, the float radius, the color. Let's begin with it. First of all, the x position of circle may be 300. The y position can be, for example, 260. Just random values. Radius maybe 30, and we can choose any color, maybe black. And after begin drawing, we can also do one more thing. Clear background and choose the color white or black or red, whatever you want. There we go. Now let's run the program. Here we have a circle, but the text isn't available anymore. Why? Because the text color was white, so we first need to change the color to black to make it visible, or maybe red. Just run it again and you will see the text. Here we have the text. Now we are going to learn how to deal with user inputs. First of all, we need to declare first of all we need to add some, instead of direct values, we need to declare these values into some float or integers. So we can say circle x, circle y. Okay, and go here before while in circle x is equal to 400, circle y is equal to 340. You can write any value. Let's handle the user inputs. So we are going to use if else conditions. If is key down, mm, we are going to do key arrow. So key up. What happens when the user presses arrow key up? So we will add circle x minus equals 5. For example, let's check it out. Is it really working or not? Or we actually made a mistake, missing semicolon. Now check it out. Now pressing this makes the ball move and the ball is vanished. We need some more control. First of all, the game is running without any fixed value. We will need to set up the FPS, frames per second. Set FPS, set target FPS, which is maybe I'm setting it at 60. Now write full movement log for it. For example, just repeat them, copy paste them. Now key up change it, key down, key left, key right. It's actually capital, so make it like that. So when user presses key up, the circle should go up, which means y value will decrease. Okay, when we press key down, the circle should move downwards. The y value should be increased by 5. When we press key left, the x value should be decreased by minus 5. When we press key right, the x value should be increased by 5. Let's see if it works. Yes, it is working. Okay, as we have added while true, so the game will run infinitely forever until you come to VS Code and stop the game. So we need to create some condition when user presses some key, the game ends. How we will do that? We will go here in int main before while we are going to declare a bool exit game, or you can name it as you want, which is false initially. Come here in while loop, check user input. If is key pressed, key escape. What you are going to do is making bool exit game is equal to true. We are not declaring it here, so just move it. Exit game is equal to true. Okay, so now change it to exit game. While not is exit game, which means run the game till exit game is not true. And when the user presses escape key, make the exit game true. Let's see if it works. I run the game, everything working fine. Press escape and it closes. Now we have our on exit game function. Let's try to draw a rectangular shape in raylibs. We just do draw a rectangle. The x position maybe 230, the y position maybe 650, and width 80, and height maybe 90, and the color this time choose orange, and there we go. Now run the program. Yeah, it worked. You can see it here. Let's understand vector 2. What is vector 2? Let's declare a vector 2 variable named player. A vector 2 stores x and y position of the variable we declare. For example, we declared player. We can assume the value of x for the player is 300, and the y is, for example, 530. Now the vector 2 has stored x is equal to 300 for the player and y is equal to 530 for the player. We can use this here. For example, for the rectangle, player dot x and player dot y. Let's see what happens. You can see the position has changed and the position is now 300 and 530. Now let's see the next method to use vector 2. For example, we are using drawing a circle. Let's draw the circle. Draw circle, but not the simple one, V1. Draw circle vector. Now we will just write the player here. It will automatically get the x and y value for the player. Also, we need to just tell him what the radius is and the color. For example, 40 and red. Now see, this is the red triangle at the player position. Sorry, red circle at the player position. Let's try to make a game. How we are trying to make a game? First, remove these useless stuff. For a game, we are just going to play with the main player. So this is our main player. Remove this one and change player.y. Let's try to make a simple game. We are going to use the simple circle and that's it. Let's play. What we have currently is a text in the center and a moving ball based on user input. But it goes off the boundaries, so we need to manage that. Let's find out how to solve the problem of the ball going out of boundaries. So we have declared 30 as the radius of the circle. If we want the circle to stop going out of boundary, we need to do this. If the circle x, the value of position of circle is less than 30, mean less than its radius, make it 30 again. Don't allow it to go backwards 30. Let's play the game. Let's see. Yeah, it is completely working. Now the ball cannot go outside the left boundary. Let's make it for every boundary. If circle x is greater than the total width of the screen 1280 minus the radius of the circle, make it circle x is equal to 1280 minus 30. Let's check it if it works. Yeah, it is working properly. The ball now can never get outside the screen. Let's do the same for vertical system for the height of the screen. If circles y is greater than 720 minus 30, circle y is equal to 720 minus 30. Yes, it is also working properly. For the top wall, if circle y is less than 30, circle y is equal to 30. And there we go. Now the ball can never go outside the boundaries. Let's test it. Let's draw an enemy for the player. Draw another circle. We can use enemy x, enemy y, and radius can be 20, and the color is red. Let's declare int enemy x is equal to 230, int enemy y is equal to 460 maybe. Okay, press F5 to run the program. Now we have a red circle over here. Now I want the enemy to chase the player. How will we do that? So if the position of enemy in x-axis is less than position of circle x, enemy x plus equals 2 or 3 maybe. This is the speed of the enemy. Let's test. Yes. Now it follows the player. Only in one direction because for now we have wrote the code for only one direction. Let's write the code for all directions. If enemies at y is less than circle y, enemy plus equal to 3. If enemy x is greater than circles x, enemy's x position minus equals 3. And same goes for enemy y is less than greater than circles y position enemy's y minus equals 3. Let's play the game. Now the red circle must chase the player in all directions. This is a problem. I think we mistakenly wrote the wrong code. Let's check it. Enemy y is greater than circles y. We should add. Oh, the problem is here. We mistakenly wrote enemy x. So now let's check it out. Now it chases the player in all directions. Now we need to write some code to check if collision works between them. If the enemy and the player circle collide, what will happen? To make that decision, we are going to write if check collision circles. We are going to define the x and y positions of both the circles as vectors. circle x, comma circle y, comma radius, circle radius. We haven't defined the circle radius in any integer, so we need to do that first. And circle r is equal to 30. Enemy r is equal to 20. Okay, so now vector 2 circle enemy x, enemy y, enemy r. If the collision between these happens, do this. So we can add any property. We can change health, for example, health minus equals 5, 10, whatever. We can do that. For now we are going to declare health int health is equal to 100%. And we can also write health and display it. For example, instead of this we can write text format in brackets. We will write health equal to, for example, if you want to display it as decimal numbers or float numbers, we can do that here. And we can write health, the variable, and it will show us the health of the player. Add a bracket here, and we shouldn't close this bracket here. This is going to be closed here. And now let's run the program and check if the game is working properly. There's a duplication of text over another text, so we will add minus 80. Now, till when the collision is happening, it subtracts 10 from the health of the player, and it is 100% fine and working properly. Let's make the player die. As we made the killed boolean true, now only this will be drawn if it is not true. For example, come here, if not is killed, then it will draw the circle. Okay, here is killed, but still the health is being drawn. To solve the problem, we need to regenerate the enemy again somewhere. So let's do it again. We will add a check here if not killed and check boolean. So this way it will check the boolean, and only if it is not killed it will count the damage. Let's check it. Yes, only one time damage will happen. Now we want to respawn the enemy again. So what we will do is if killed, then enemy x is equal to get random value between the radius minimum and the maximum, which is 1280, the total width of the screen minus the radius. The same is the case for enemy's y position. Get any random value between 20 and 720 minus 20, or we can do 700. Let's check if it works. Oh, a missing semicolon. It is now respawning. Wait a minute. It is now respawning because the bool value is still killed, which is true. Now we have to make it false. Now it will be randomly generated any part of the screen. And every time it hits the player, it will give a 10% health damage. Okay. We can also create bullets, we can use textures, we can use sounds here. So this was the basic part of our game. Now let's create states. Let's study what states are actually. Enum game state is equal to the playing, paused, and exit, and before playing is start. Let's create these. To create states in games, we use enum. We can declare any name, for example, game state, and in this enum, we are going to write the states of game we want. Start, playing, maybe exit, game over, stuff like that. That's it. We're going to work with three game states. Let's declare a variable for this enum game state, game state, and in int main we are going to declare game state, which is our current game state, which is going to be start. In the while loop, we are going to convert this code into if else conditions, where if the game state is start, this will be happening. If the game state is playing, this will be happening. If the game state is pause, this will be happening, stuff like that. So let's begin. So the first one, after begin drawing and before clear background, we're going to write if game state is start, show this. Now for other game states, we are going to copy paste this. If game state is playing, show this. And if game state is game over, show this. So for the first one, game start. Take this part of code, only this one. Take it here. We need to write this outside of game states. So it is independent of any game state. Whenever the key escape is pressed, the screen is closed, no matter what the condition is. Okay. When game state will be start, only a white background and this text will appear. And if player presses the key enter, make the game state playing. Now the game state will be playing if the player presses enter. We can also go to playing and add this all logic inside of playing. Copy this, come here. Also, we need to organize our content a bit. Okay, so now we are going to the final game over screen. If uh, black, and we can draw the text here, draw text, you died, and comma, x position 500, y position maybe 300, and font size 40, the color red. For game state playing, the background is going to be white. Clear background, white. And we can do one more thing. If health is less than or equal to 0, game state is equal to game over. Let's check if everything is working fine. Press enter, the game starts to play. Let the ball kill us. And the last hit, and the state is game over, you died. And it is completely working, and it is working perfectly fine. Let's add one more feature to our game, which is sound. So to load the sound, we need to first declare it. Let's declare sound. Sound name sound is anything you want, sound hit. In int main, we are going to load the sound anywhere you want to. Hit is equal to load sound. For example, it is hit.mp3, and you can use the sound when playing is happening. For example, here play sound, play sound, hit, and it will play hit sound every time the playing happens. And after close audio, we'll say unload sound, hit. That's it. In the folder, add the hit music file, hit.mp3 file, and now run the game. Pressing enter. We also need to initialize the sound, so just do it. After init window, init audio device. Now it will start working. Now it is working properly. You may hear the voice. We died. Now let's add a image of the player instead of just the basic circle. How to do that? For it, we will add a texture 2D. First declare it, texture 2D player. Players. Then here we can declare it. Players is equal to load texture players.png, and there we go. Spelling mistake here. Okay, it's fine now. Texture. That was a spelling mistake as well. Now we can use this texture here. Draw texture. Write the name of texture, which is players. The X and Y remain the same as circle, circle Y, and we don't need radius here. We will just add color, which is white, or you can write blank. Remove this circle or comment it out, and we need to add a PNG in this folder. Let's play the game and check if the texture is available. Press enter. Yes, the texture is available. There we go.